Gonna get right to work in this video. As I mentioned at the end of the last video, this car is now running and driving on our base tune with our Eaton Supercharger back on the car. Everything seems to be going absolutely perfectly. The car drives good, stops good. Everything seems to be working well enough that I reached out to my tuner and said, hey, when can you get me in to get this thing on the dyno to get it fully tuned, make sure it's good to go? And he said, how's tomorrow? And I was like, oh crap, sure. So now we have a couple things we gotta do to make sure this thing is 100% ready. We already checked out the bottom side in the last video and there's no leaks or anything like that, but I would like to get the oil change on this thing. It's not bad, but it's not new either. So previous owner gave me a couple oil filters. I got plenty of oil, so let's get to work. This thing's already in the air. Let's drain the oil, get some fresh oil in there, new filter, get it on the ground, do a final once over and make sure that we're ready for the dyno. Change is done. 6.5 quarts of Brotella in there. New Motorcraft OEM filter. Good to go. Oil level's perfect. Got nice fresh oil for the dyno. We put new plugs in it, new filter. I think we're good to go. We'll see. You always got to, do your best and do your due diligence to be as ready as you can for the dyno, but there's only so much you can do. The car runs perfect. It drives perfect. I've done as much preventative maintenance as I can. It is almost out of fuel, which is good because I don't know how old the fuel is and I don't know what they have in Kansas or Kentucky, wherever I got this thing from. And, whether they have 91 octane or 93 octane, whatever. So we'll fill that up in the morning. The forecast right now is looking like extreme thunderstorms and, torrential downpours. So unfortunately, I think I'm going to want to tow this thing. I haven't washed this or done anything with it since it rolled off the trailer 2 months ago. Still looks awesome, but even though trailering it with an open trailer, I don't know if that's better. I think it probably is. Either way, it's definitely going to probably get wet tomorrow, but we're going to end up washing this thing, probably doing a little bit of paint correction, maybe ceramic coat, seal it up, whatever, and basically give this thing a complete detail, so I'm not too worried about it. Probably tape off these hood vents just to keep water out since they are pretty close to the filter down there. But yeah, I think we're ready. We'll see how it goes, but I'll get loaded up in the morning since it's dark now. We'll head to the dyno and see what this thing does. Hey, what's that thing back there? I've got the banana loaded up. We are headed to Performance Dyno. Same dyno that tunes all my GM stuff, just different guy, Pete. Instead of Josh, he does all the Ford stuff. Like I said, I was gonna drive the car, and even though it is absolutely beautiful out right now, we are supposed to get some maybe severe thunderstorms, but you never really know in New England, so we'll see. But we, just to be safe, I, loaded the car up. We're in the 350, heading to the dyno. Should be there in 40-ish minutes. Get this thing unloaded and see if we put it together right, But check in with you guys there. Alright, so what happened here was we made the first pull and Pete noticed that we weren't getting full throttle. So I checked at the throttle cable while he floored it, and sure enough we were only getting about half throttle. We thought it might be some slack in the cable or something, but after looking at it a little bit closer, it turns out the throttle cable bracket was on backwards. So we were able to correct that, get wide open throttle, and from there we were able to move on to making a second pull. boys, we did it. Dyno session done, and just in time because it got real dark real fast. Those storms that we were talking about, yeah, they came in. So, but good news is dyno went extremely well. I apologize for not filming as much as I wanted to, but I was really trying to beat this storm, which I just barely did. I got this thing on the trailer just about as the skies opened up. I'm gonna get the car home, get it unloaded. We'll talk about the results, but you guys saw the video. That Eaton was screaming. Yeah, good stuff. But yeah, let's see if we can't get through this monsoon, get home, and we'll talk about the dyno results. Well, it's been a couple days. Got home from the dyno, got this thing unloaded, tucked away in the garage, even though it's still dirty. But we finally got a break in the rain today, so it's a beautiful evening. I figured I'd take this thing out, see how it drives now that it's fully dyno tuned. I'll put the dyno sheet up on the screen right now, but we did 498 horsepower to the rear tire at 13 pounds of boost and I think 528 foot-pounds of torque, which for a basically minimal bolt-on Cobra, 2.8 upper pulley, stock exhaust manifolds, aftermarket catted X-pipe, Borla mufflers, and a cold air intake, aka just a K&N filter on the stock elbow. That's incredible numbers. Really, really strong numbers for this car. I could not have been happier. Basically did 3 pulls. The first one, we had that issue with the throttle cable that I explained earlier in the video. And then the other 2 pulls, made some, fueling and timing adjustments, but overall, very easy tuning session. Pete, the guy who tuned the car, has been tuning these things since 2004 when they came out. He actually had a screaming yellow Cobra that he bought brand new off the showroom floor back in 2004. So he was definitely, into this car and was liking it. But he's been tuning these cars for so long that a basic setup like this, 1, 2 pulls, it's perfect. Flat air fuel ratio, torque curve looks perfect, horsepower curve looks perfect, and the car drives awesome. Couldn't have gone better. So overall, you're always a little bit nervous heading into the dyno, making sure I did my job right, and it looks like we did, other than the throttle cable, which was backwards. But in my defense, that's how the Eaton was delivered to me. I'm sure that someone just kind of tossed it on there to make sure it was included, and no big deal. We figured it out, looked at a picture on the internet, and no problem, good to go. But yeah, awesome power for this car, but I've been itching to get it out and see how it sounds. So let's take a trip down to Mexico, some back roads, and see how this thing drives. Feels good to get into boost, hear that Eaton. do a little 3-4. Oh, this thing rips! Love it. This thing sounds so good. Miss that 4-valve sound. All right. Enough beating on this old girl. Let's get back to the garage. Woo! Well, that was a ton of fun. That Cobra absolutely rips. It has been a while since I've had one of those cars, and I missed it. There's nothing like that Eaton Scream, instant torque, and it's a lot quicker than I remember. It's the next morning here, guys. I kind of got sidetracked with another project last night. We're sitting in traffic in the E63, so figured it's a good time to film a quick outro. Car's running perfect, absolutely rips. As you guys saw, the dyno tune went awesome. Could not have asked for that to go any better. Mechanically, I think the car's 100%. I think it's ready to go. But we still got a lot of stuff to do on that car, even though it's even though it's basically cosmetically perfect. You know, we can make a couple improvements. There's always room to improve, and we're gonna make it 100% perfect. So thank you guys as always for watching. I hope you enjoyed, you know, a little bit of a beat down on the Cobra, some final dyno numbers. We know it's running perfect. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure not to miss the next one.